O'Malley defeats Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 316, and here are 10 reasons why. First off, according to the Sugar State Athletic Commission, Sean O'Malley only has one real loss on his resume, and it's a decision loss to Merab Dvalishvili. But since he has suffered that loss, Sean O'Malley has activated his higher self. He is guided by higher power. So Merab is not fighting a normal Sean O'Malley. He's fighting higher self Sean O'Malley. He's fighting Sugar Sean 2.0, a Sugar Sean that you or I have never seen before. Reason number 2, this is an obvious one. Sugar Sean O'Malley has called upon the likes of Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson, one of the best grapplers in UFC history, to help him out for this fight camp. So that should be enough to take him. Reason number 3, Sean O'Malley said that heading into that Merab fight, he was suffering from a torn labrum, which makes it nearly impossible, number 1, to throw kicks. I mean, it's his hips. He's generating no power from his kicks. His takedown defense is going to suffer from it, obviously. But since then, he has gotten surgery to repair it. His hips are now 2.0 hips. So first off, we have higher self Sean O'Malley coming in, and we have new hips Sean O'Malley coming in. Merab is fighting someone that we've never even seen before. Reason number 4, this is a long quote from Sean O'Malley, but basically, if I'm going to break it down, he has quit gooning, which, I mean, that should store testosterone in your body, you know, more power in your hands. He quit smoking, you know, that should improve his cardio, and he's also quit gaming, which should improve his reflexes. His frontal cortex is ready for a fight with Merab this time. He's quit all the extraneous things. We're seeing a higher form Sean O'Malley being activated here. He sleeps better. He's not done smoking forever, though. You know, once he beats Merab, he might pick up the pipe again. But, you know, right now, for the time being, Sean O'Malley looks locked in. Reason number 5, I rewatched the first fight, and honestly, it did look like pure Merab domination. But if you really enhance the details, you know, O'Malley won the last round clean, okay, on all 3 scorecards. He debatably won the 3rd round as well, even when he got taken down in that round. And keep in mind, this was all with a torn labrum. He had no hips in these 25 minutes, but he managed to win a couple rounds on the scorecards. One more thing to note about this is, you know, Merab tends to sometimes not shoot early, okay? He'll let a round go 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, and then he'll decide to shoot. So some judges might see that and see that O'Malley won the first half of the round, and they might give the round to O'Malley. Reason number 6, you know, Merab has a mysterious toe injury. All right, when I made the video last week about Erin Blanchfield beating Macy Barber, I alluded to a mysterious Macy Barber leg injury, and it turns out that's actually what ended up costing her to not even fight. Now we have Merab's mysterious toe injury. It clearly looks messed up. It's as red as a tomato, and it's on his foot. He said he's willing to amputate his toe if that's what it takes to fight O'Malley. Fighting on a weird pinky toe, that has to hinder your takedowns, and that has to hinder training. Merab's either training way too hard, and he's going to burn himself out for the fight, or that happened in a normal sparring session, in which case O'Malley, if a random can do that to Merab, I mean, who knows what O'Malley's going to do. Reason number 7, this isn't the best reason, but let's be real here. Merab is on a 12-fight win streak, and he has barely landed any damage in those 12 fights. At this point, if he wins another fight, he's going to be joining the ranks of Mighty Mouse, Max Holloway, GSP, Khabib, Kamaru Usman for longest win streaks in UFC history. And I just don't think that's going to happen. I appreciate Merab's style. He's a cardio machine, shoots for infinite takedowns. But at the end of the day, does that make you a good MMA fighter? I mean, your cardio being a weapon? I mean, he's one of the first fighters in UFC history where their cardio is the weapon. They have no power. They have no submission grappling. It's just the cardio is the weapon. Can cardio being a weapon make you one of the all-time greats in MMA? I tend to say no, and I think he's due for a loss. 12 straight wins, 11 of them decisions, with only one of them being a TKO win, which he actually almost got TKO'd himself in the first round. This might be a little out there. I think Merab's due for a loss. Reason number 8, Fins and Fins Jr. will be attending this event this upcoming Saturday. So, if all goes wrong and Sean O'Malley is losing the fight, we will make sure O'Malley wins, okay? That's not a threat. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to do something, but let's just say we're sitting close enough to the ringside where we can, you know, influence the judges' scorecards. You know, we got some whiteout. You know, my brother knows AI. There are a lot of outcomes that can happen by us being in attendance. You know, I could say something that could throw Merab off. I do have a couple things in the bag for that. I'm not going to disclose them here, but, you know, there is a good chance you see me in the crowd, and there's a good chance that, you know, we could probably influence this thing. Reason number 9, the UFC is ending their ESPN deal, which means they're due for a new broadcasting slot. They're talking with Netflix, they're talking with Prime, but ultimately speaking, if Merab wins, the value of the UFC product, I think, goes down. Not saying Merab is not a fun fighter or whatever, but O'Malley is the star in this matchup. O'Malley is what is propping this fight to be the main event of the evening. Merab fought Umar, he was the co-main. You know, I don't think Merab could headline a card, and it sells a lot of pay-per-views. Therefore, if O'Malley were to be the champ, Dana White can use that in his negotiation tactics and be like, well, O'Malley just became the champ. We're looking for a pay-per-view with him on it. We know it's going to sell at least 1 million buys. But if Merab becomes the champ and stays the champ, he's not going to have that leverage in the negotiation room. I think the same thing is kind of happening with Jon Jones, if I'm being real. You know, the whole reason why they're not saying Jon Jones is retired or vacant is because they're trying to use it as a negotiation tactic for when they sign a new pay-per-view deal. And I think something similar is happening in this fight. And the final reason, I mean, let's be honest. The UFC script writers, they have not really been cooking. Okay, they have not been cooking whatsoever. You know, Pereira lost the belt. DDP decisions Sean Strickland in a kind of a boring fight. Whaley beats the new upcoming Tatiana Suarez. UFC scriptwriters have been just kind of mailing it in. I think this would be the fight where UFC scriptwriters could cook. So even if Merab were to win a clean decision, there is a world where O'Malley still wins the fight. And I think the UFC scriptwriters can have a hand to play in this. All right, hear me out. So if Merab doesn't shoot a takedown for at least 2.5 minutes, and O'Malley was peppering up Merab at distance for the first 2.5, you could make an argument that O'Malley won the round. Also, if Merab were to shoot takedowns and not do any damage and not secure any kind of submission threat, and O'Malley lands a big shot in that same round, just one shot, they could still give O'Malley the round. There is a world where we watch this fight and we see a 50-45 performance from Merab, and we still see O'Malley gifted the decision. There's a lot at play here, a lot at stake. Merab is not a finisher whatsoever. Merab's path to victory is to win by decision. So if Dana White and the UFC scriptwriters can get together and make sure that the decision is read for O'Malley, then there's simply no way O'Malley loses. O'Malley's not getting finished, and the scorecards are going to be rigged regardless. So how does O'Malley lose? Even if he loses, he won't lose. That's what I'm trying to say. Even if he gets 50-40'd, they will still be like, split decision, 48-47, Sean O'Malley. Do you know what I'm trying to say here? UFC's not rigged, but they can get rigged. Over the course of this year, the UFC fights have kind of played out like we have thought. But this could be the first one where it's a giant curveball, and we're like, what? It's not like O'Malley hasn't won robberies before. He beat Peter Yan by a robbery in a fight where everyone watching it thought Yan won 29-28, but guess what? Guess his scorecards, O'Malley 29-28. That made no sense. And then Aljamain Sterling, you don't think he was tapped on the shoulder? Hey, go out there and try to stay striking with O'Malley. O'Malley knocks him out in round 2 because he stays standing with them. There's just certain things at play that make me think O'Malley wins.